Hey, what's up everyone? This video is going to be about pretty much it's about me because I looked up the characteristics of starseeds and they match me completely. They match everything that I've been through since childhood, almost all but maybe one of them matches me. Now, before anyone if you're not familiar with that particular type of thing, if you come from a biased standpoint on that, if you come from a perspective that doesn't lean toward that, that's fine. I respect you. Just move on, and you just don't have to listen to this video. But if you understand and resonate with those that vibrate at a higher rate, their consciousness understands things more complex and more deeply, then then just listen through the whole thing. So these are 27 starseed characteristics that might give you an answer. Now, first of all, I am still a believer in Jesus Christ. That's not going to change no matter what, and unless I'm out of my mind or whatever. But that's just not. That's that. This consciousness of mine, that doesn't change at all. So upon reading this, and I'll put the link to it below, upon reading this, it gave insight and information, very valuable information. I was reading this to my mama earlier, and she said, that's like describing you 100%. She said, it's like I'm reading a book about you, about me. And it really is. And they talk about feeling alienated, alone, but yet you can't relate exactly to the people around you. And but yet, here's the thing, though. Everywhere I go, for me, people are extremely nice to me, though, most of the time. And people seem to just, for some reason, a lot of times they'll just give me things or just discounts and major things, just somehow or other, just people act in awe of me sometimes. And like today, I was at the store and they just discounted so many different things and um and just get with just so much. They'll just do so much for me, and everyone in there, they just make over me. Every store, every place. And I'm not trying to brag. That's the thing about Leos. They sometimes sound like they're bragging, and I'm not trying to. But it even says that about Starseeds. But they'll be like, hey, what's up, man? Even if I only seen them just once before. And the people, I don't mean to sound conceited or anything. I don't want to do that. That is not what I want to do. But girls have been very, they've been close to me as well lately, just kind of stating things or flirting or whatnot. And I appreciate that a lot. I guess Leos love the attention. That's right. Right. That's what they say. But, I talk to people, and I'll try to be nice to everyone around me. And they just really just cling to me and talk to me, and will tell their everything. They'll just tell everything and just kind of just act in awe over me and just give me things. And it's just crazy how people do. They just talk to me. They just, or let me get by with things others don't. It's just crazy. I don't want to brag about that, but they'll be like, here, just take so-and-so, just have so-and-so, just do this, and it's really been, and I thank God for that. I really do. I don't know what I'll do as far as a career path, a job path. I don't know. What job can Starseeds do? Light workers. Just got a notification about Mexico's Popocatépetl volcano spitting ash into the atmosphere very high. That was a notification from Twitter about that. You don't see much true news anymore. And they're censoring us so much to the point where it's ridiculous. But anyway, here's the symptoms that you can see. But people are so nice to me. They just, and children, babies, animals, and people in general just tell their stories to me. They just stay in awe over me. And they just act, a lot of times they'll just act in awe in a way that, and they'll just talk and make over me a lot of times, like, for some reason, they just, they'll be like, here, just have this, or just, a lot of times, this one person's like, no, he's not paying for that drink. That was so sweet. I appreciate that. But people just do, I don't even know if I should share all of that, but it's just, they'll do these kind things for me. Things come into place. And, I mean, I wish maybe an opportunity for, like, income would come into place. That would be really great. Because we could use that, definitely. And I wish, I mean, I've had struggles and problems throughout my life that I can't even really put into perspective for a video, but it's great to have the internet to share. YouTube wouldn't let me live stream, though. They made weird sounds and no one could hear me. It's my phone's been doing that when I try to talk. I was talking earlier, trying to talk to Mama. She couldn't hear me. I could hear her, but she couldn't hear me. My phone's been wacky. But here's the thing. Electronics been messing up on me a lot. They've been messing up on me a lot again. But I've tried to distance myself from all of that aspects, the strangeness, the strange spiritual aspects. When the more I try to distance myself, the more it comes back. Because of the fact that it just encompasses me so much and just takes over. I mean, it becomes such a distraction that it's hard to function in daily life. And you have to try to ground yourself away from that. And pull back into what others would call reality. Pull back into this, whatever we're in. Daddy actually stated today that he said he wasn't Mandela affected. I was thinking, oh, no, please. Here we are again. Oh, man. I was like, here we are again. And I said, Berenstain Bears, and the 2 lights on our porch instead of 1. He went, oh, okay, well, maybe, I guess. And he's like, maybe. I don't know why that happens and they flip-flop on their perspective. Maybe, but that happened. But here's the thing, Starseeds, they match my symptoms, and people will just go out of their way to be nice to me and talk to me, and I've had these strange experiences during my awakening, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. I don't know what we're going. We've been saying that it's happening for so long, it's here. But then it's like it takes its time. When I was a child, Granny and we talked about beings. And I talked about things beyond this world. And I would always, in elementary school, in the library, when I would go downstairs, the librarian would just look at me strangely because I couldn't read. I couldn't get myself to read the assigned books. But yet I said, I really want to go to the back. And I'll show a little picture right here. Here is there's the shelf, like that. And it's like that. And her desk was like, well, actually, here's the end of her desk. I'll just do that. And then there were tables like right there. And we were supposed to be sitting there at those tables reading. But I would always want to go to the back right there behind in that library. The library was down in the basement, and I would always want to get out these huge books, sit down and read, and just look at the planets and the galaxies and stars. And I would want to, and she was like, why are you so interested in that? And I said, and I would always say, that's where I'm from. I can remember that now. That's me. That's where and I bet they thought, what? And one time I remember I think there was a book called A Wind in the Hall or A Wind Behind the Door. I can't remember now. But all of a sudden I would point up. I couldn't even reach up there either. It was 3 shelves up. And I was like 8 years old. And I said, that one. And she's like, that book? And she had to get on a ladder to get it. And she said, why did you pick this one? And it resonated about the principal being hateful to the student, and she said, is there any particular reason why you wanted that? And I said, no, just something led me to it. And she knew I was different. She knew that things were different with me. She sensed it, so she was nicer. She said, well, you can read about space, but she said, just wait, when the principal and teacher comes back, just be actually reading the books assigned. And I said, okay. And I would just sit there and read about, I can remember reading about in the beginning the diffuse cloud and the agglomeration around matter around the original nebula that was a diffuse cloud that expanded, the expansion of the universe, and then expanding eventually all of the galaxies and clusters of galaxies, and black holes, and I was fascinated with physics and astrophysics and alternate realities, parallel universes. And I always said that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's laws of physics. I said, well, for every action, there's an opposite result in an alternate parallel reality and everything in alternate physics. Without being told these things, though, I would get downloads of information, downloads of scientific ideas. And it turns out the ideas the inventions that I would invent and draw on paper or write down that would come to me in a download would immediately be in a science magazine a week or two later. No time. They would be in a science magazine, and it was like, dang, like, man, everything that I came up with happened. Every scientific invention that I had happened. Everything. And I was connected, and I would point at the stars in the sky, and I would talk to Granny, and I would say, the beings, what we call aliens, but they vibrate at a higher rate. Now, when I was 6 years, 7 years, 8 years old, I said they vibrate at a higher rate. And she said, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, their consciousness is vibrating at a higher rate. And I said, if our universe begins at a certain point, I said, if we are vibrating at a slower rate, then time goes by slower for us. We won't evolve as quickly. Our consciousness and our mind. But they are vibrating at a faster rate, so I said that they advance quicker. So I said they're more intelligent than we are, and I would get these downloads of information. But I said some of them, I was like, don't be tricked, because there will be coming a time when the final Antichrist, the beast, I said, they'll tempt you, they will try to, I said that they will try to bribe you with technological advancements. They'll try to use technology to bribe you. And I said, TVs, electronics, and phones, and everything. Well, I didn't say phones, but I said that they'll try to bribe you with the tech of the day. And we're all going to be in something called the cloud, but I said it's evil. I talked about this stuff. I would get downloads of it. I would leave my body and go to visit people and I would describe these people perfectly from our past, relatives, and go to that time period and people of the past and places and star systems beyond. And I'm going to read a little bit here, but they said that they are put here, they're believed to have a distant providence and sent here on a mission to benefit humanity. But that's just a few of the things. My journey as a starseed, the things that I went through that resonated and matched these symptoms. And I try to ground myself. That's not the proper terminology, but I try to actually make myself forget about these things at times so I can actually function in the common world, in the accepted world. And it's difficult sometimes, but I have felt this free form that's beyond, and it's like the restriction of this world bother me. It's like there's something that's beyond it's beyond comprehension. But maybe that Christ consciousness, maybe we'll be able to, that godly consciousness. I still believe in Jesus Christ, and that's not going to change. But I just feel that we're in this time period, the new age is here, and it's coming anyway, and we're meant to assist. But I don't know what we'll do. Maybe I'm supposed to be in some sort of healing medical environment. But the medical environment of this world, the money-hungry big pharma and the medical companies and all of that big money-hungry, money-grubbing, greedy, not going to say the word, those rich, you know the word I'm thinking of, those people, those rich individuals at the top, those rich individuals that couldn't care less about anyone else, and they're just out for $1. And the doctors in the medical system, I don't feel comfortable with the way they do. They don't help people. They're not allowed to help people because of the restrictions of the medical department, and it's all about money. You're a number, and it's just wrong. You're a dollar sign. But the Starseeds are advanced beings that originate from far distant stars, galaxies, places, missions, whose mission is to assist Earth into the golden age. They are highly evolved souls with unfathomable amount of wisdom. Every bit of the information on here matches my entire life. They said they feel it, the wisdom hibernating within their core. And though they may come from faraway places, light years, so their home, their new home, living on this earth, that's their newfound home, they experience a total amnesia as to their true identities. However, each is encoded with an activation switch, and each awakening is unique. And I never read this information, but yet it matched me to a T. They said each awakening is unique, can range from measured to calm to abrupt and intense. When activated, starseeds don't even need to be told what they are. They inherently know, they recall their purpose on Earth, and I hope I find my purpose. I hope I find and recall my purpose on Earth. But where they come from, with no explanations needed. While there are many different beliefs as to the origins of starseeds, their purpose is clear, that they are here on the Earth right now, in whichever version we're in, whatever's going on here, to be of, or if that's the way it's really going on. I mean, maybe something's messing with the simulated existence that God made. Maybe something is glitching reality itself that's causing people to, that some people remember and others don't. I don't know. It seems like other people remember, but maybe, I don't know. Otherwise, you wouldn't have people that vividly remember living and it playing out as it is now. I don't know. But that's not about starseeds. That's the Mandela effect. But they're not here to learn or study humans, but to assist the society into a new age. While scientists will always question their belief in starseeds, they never can disprove their existence. They look, act, and feel like normal human beings. However, they experience, well, I don't know about all that, but they experience an innate loneliness and longing to return home. I've talked about that since I was a child. And people are like, well, your home is right here. The home is not this house. It's not this house. It's not the house you're in. It's not where you're at. And it's like, they never got what you're talking about. Superiors, authorities, they're like, what do you mean by that? I've mentioned that since I was a child, going home. But anyway, back to this. While they are quick to discern human agendas, they find human behavior to be bewildering. The way society functions to be irrational and reluctant, and they try not to involve themselves with the craziness of this society. But one of the most telling Starseed characteristics is their feeling of genuine excitement upon learning that they might not be fully human. They might not be human after all. They are naturally drawn to the concept of space exploration and science fiction. Yes, shows like the X-Files and E.T. and Star Trek, and all those kinds of things about interdimensional travel, space travel, provide comfort for reasons that they may not be able to express. I watched the X-Files, and I would tell my mama that I wanted to watch the X-Files when it came on, and interdimensional travel and alien beings and creatures and interdimensional beings, that fascinated me as a child, and for some reason I wanted to show it, to express that I was different. And I had encyclopedias opened and saved to information of Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Earth, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, black holes, everything. I had it all, the sun, the Earth, I had it all laid out, and I was studying various things about them. And I was like, that's where I'm from. And various information and downloads of those planets and those places and distant places would come to me. Even ancient, like space travel that it might have already happened long ago popped into my mind. And I even said an astronaut went to Jupiter or whatever a long time ago. And I was like, where did I get this information? I don't know. Or went to a planet, heard an echo, knowing that there is oxygen similar to this world. And I would get these downloads of information of space travel that had happened in the past, and it would just pop into my mind. And I would also want to have those encyclopedias out right there, showing planets and star systems and information of the universe in order to show what I was. But they said, if you're wondering if you might be, below are 27 signs that you might have been missing. The characteristics of starseeds: from a young age, you have an inherent wisdom that usually comes later in life for other people. I've been that way since I was a child, and I've been told that I was an old soul, and I agree. When I was a child, they said, you're like an adult. You're like an old soul. They called me an old soul. Adults would look at me in awe and just like I was an old soul. And I felt ancient to the core. No matter where I was, you always feel the feeling of homesickness. Yes. You know what home feels like, even if you can't express it, and you know that your house is not